Hello, I'm Owen Edwards.
I'm Nathan Nguyen,
I'm Elias Weitfle.
and we are currently missing Shankar because he is currently sick and fighting an illness, and so he doesn't want to be coughing on throughout this entire video, so it's reasonable.
All right, so this is our CS5167 project 3. For this project, we did UC Mobile redesign. It's a web-based mock-up of the mobile app, and let me jump right in here with some of our features. So right here, you see we have the home page. Shows the current date that we have, and just below that we see dining balances in restaurants. We have data that's just pertinent to each student, so they'll have meal swipes, guest swipes, as well as Bearcat bucks, and there's also distance for restaurants that are local to campus. Let me go over here now to the calendar to show you some of the functionality of this. As you can see, we have a calendar here. And if I look at this little red dot here on November 4th, you can see we have some pre-populated data with events on the calendar. So, for instance, right here at 9 a.m., we have a CS meeting, and the location is Baldwin 761. If you see me go to December here, you'll see that that dot went away because that event's no longer there. We can go further out to planned events and see what else is on our calendar, or we can press the Today button, which will take us back to the present day, which right now today is November 19th, where we don't have any events planned, and that's why there's no red dot there. However, if we do a new event, we can plan another event. So let's say, for instance, if I plan an event for today, which is November 19th, and say I make it right now, and I'll just give the event a title of test and a location of walk, and I add the event, and then if I click on it, then I'll see that this event was set on the calendar for today with data I just provided for it. As well, if I go to the home page, I'll now see that this event is added to the home page, so I can see that my event test is currently at location lock, and I'll also see the time that's on there. Now I'm going to pass it over to Nathan to talk about maps component here.
Yeah, as you saw earlier in the home screen, we can see that there's many different locations that we have decided to have where as you're using this app, it'll be constantly tracking your location. And so you can see here on the bottom that half a mile away is a Starbucks, 1 mile away is Cincy Grill, which is one of our dining locations on campus, and another mile away is a Chick-fil-A. And so these are just close by food locations that students like to congregate and go to depending on the time of day. And so if they're hungry at around 3:56 for dinner or lunch or some later type of situation, they can go there. But how do you know how far away it is? Even though it's half a mile, sometimes when we're going on campus, it can be kind of confusing, and so you don't really know where to go afterwards. And so if we have this current maps function, we've heard from a lot of new students whenever we were interviewing them that the campus can be pretty confusing and pretty just compact, and so knowing which building is what and where your classes might be is really important. And so whenever a U student is using this, they can actually choose what campus they're on. If they're on the Claremont campus, Blue Ash campus, or Uptown West campus, they can click on one of these maps and actually see, oh, this is the building that I was looking for, where is it? And they can find the building that they're looking for. And it also has maybe important places nearby, like Raising Cane's, or other food locations like the Chick-fil-A that we talked about earlier inside of TUC. Aside from that, we also have a shuttle translocation system where we have integrated the shuttle map into the University of Cincinnati, into this app, where students know how to get between each campus using our shuttle system and get to different locations if they don't have a specific like car on board or mode of transportation. The shuttle system is very important and is kind of the backbone of the UC community. Now moving on, we can go to modules. When we were interviewing a lot of students about this app and understanding what they use most, we found that these specific modules that on here are the most used applications that students use as they're trying to just get through their day. And so sometimes they need to schedule a advisor meeting. And so when they click on here, they can choose which advisor that they're working with. Like, for example, oh, I'm in computer science, let's go John Smith, and we can do course registration since students are required to do course registration, and they can choose a preferred date and schedule a meeting. So now your meeting is scheduled with John Smith. Aside from that, they also have access to Canvas, where now it will redirect you to Canvas, so you see it on a structure. And you can see what applications. We initially intended to do an API integration for all of the ones that we were able to do, but after looking through some of the requirements for this, we wouldn't be able to do it without UCIT approval. And so outside of that, we also have Outlook. As I said earlier, we were hoping to do an integration with an API, but sadly we can't. And one-stop campus link and other directory stuff that is really important for a single source of information for students. It would be very, very nice. And so enrollment services, if they need to enroll in places and do any financial services, UCIT or UC directory, depending on if they're trying to find a professor. And so these would be some of the modules that they might be using. And so I'll hand it off to Elias to talk about the accounts.
All right, so here on the account page, you can see who you are, what your year is, what your major is, your M number, in case you forgot that. You also have your connections to Canvas and Outlook. These would allow the app to connect to Canvas itself and to Outlook itself. And here you have the option to turn on or off push notifications if you have connected your app to either of these two services or UC alerts in general. And then it would also give you calendar notifications for if you have any events set now or in the future. Additionally, you have this emergency alert system. So if you were to hold this down for 2 seconds, you see emergency contact activated. And that would effectively ping your location to an emergency contact that you've chosen before. And if you want to sign out of the app, there's a button for that too. So it asks you, do you want to sign out, yes or no? We're going to stay signed in just for this demonstration.
But yeah, that is the entirety of our application. We hopefully have made UC Mobile a lot less confusing, since we've noticed that a lot of the modules that you've seen here are duplicated more than once or twice throughout the application, and it's a more streamlined version. In terms of just the coloring and just design of this application, every color you see on this application is actually in line with UC's color guide and color screen. And so this ensures that we are following the exact guidelines for UC, and that if they wanted to actually use this app immediately, they could actually port this app directly over and have all the APIs backend and apply it back into this application to ensure that everything works the way they want to do, and it looks a lot more functional than how we have it here, since we weren't able to do things because we're gated behind exact reason behind UCIT. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for listening to our presentation, and hopefully you enjoyed.